We're back. I feel like we never left.
Yeah. Oh, I like this. I like this new camera angle Scotty's got going here.
Oh yeah. Then you get to see his ass.
Yeah. Can you bring my heads?
Is he wearing a kilt? Oh no.
Oh, I thought he was. Can you bring my headset up a little bit?
Oh jeez.
Check. There we go. Right there. Oh,
Good
well.
God. What are you doing?
Showing his egg McMuffin.
Your mic's on mute if you're talking and,
He's showing his egg McMuffin.
Okay. While we wait for Cresshead to get in, I'm going to play it again. We have notes already.
You sound like Cressy.
Sound like crap.
Not too messy, but it's Cressy.
The mix sounds really good, though.
Yeah, the mix is good.
Oh, yes.
That's a really cool picture Cressy has.
It is.
I like that.
Is he foretelling the future?
I don't know if he is or not.
We're getting there, aren't we? So,
Yeah, I guess we are getting here, Cressy.
Every day is one step closer.
Okay, Lamar and I was listening to it. The mix sounds spot on. We got one issue. The drum stopped
In the middle section.
in the middle section. There wasn't that dance vibe. It was only supposed to stop just before the solo.
you mean the 4 on the floor you wanted in but wasn't?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The hi hat was there.
Yeah.
If you go
It's
along,
Scottish,
we should be able,
it's
yeah,
not infallible. He'll get it sorted.
we should just be able to drag it back in, I would think. If there's something that I've either deleted or muted that I shouldn't have.
You've
Do you
probably
hear me
muted
okay,
it.
by the way?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you open up the project window, you'll notice I've grouped everything as well.
Yeah,
Lamont.
I was like, what the hell did
Yeah, it's all
Scotty
cleaned
do?
up,
Looks
ain't it?
like
It's-
Alien.
Yeah, it's all tidied up a little bit, so it was easier to find things.
Right.
So I've basically grouped Cressy's stuff into one group, all Lamar's basses into one group, all the drums into another, strings into another, and I think mine's are in a group, or they're maybe just sitting on their own at the bottom. But you do know how to open those groups up, do you? When you're in the
Is it the
when you're in the
drop-
other when you're in the other view,
Is it the drop down box?
No, hit the tab.
there's like a little tab at the top, just to the right hand side. It's got 3 lines on it. So when you're in the drums, see where it says drums in white?
Right.
Just to the left of the word drums, there's like 3 little lines in a circle. So where it says the word drums,
Yeah, where it's highlighted.
just click that and then they all open up underneath there. So there's all your drum parts in there. So when you're finished working on the drums, you basically just close that again and it gets rid of them all.
How do we see the waveforms?
You can, along to the right at the top, there should be a height, an
It's
H,
all like-
and
yeah, it's
an
all-
H and a W, and it stretches it to the width.
Whereabouts we're looking?
Up at the top right-hand corner of the whole window, there's an H and a W, I think. So if you do
I see
H, there you go.
There you go. Cool. So can we see if those drums are still in, those kicks?
Yeah.
They would be in red.
Yes, the kicks would all be in red.
Okay, and
You've probably muted them.
I've
Oh.
maybe deactivated them by mistake, have I?
yeah, they got shoved all away.
So what I've done is I modified the bottom one. So if you click on the bottom one and just right click on that and say activate clip. Yep.
That says deactivate.
So why is it not coming in? Is it just switched off?
Have you muted that track?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I can see it from here.
Yeah.
Well, if you click that number 4, because why is it blue? There's a reason why that number 4 is blue. Because I never took those out. Click that number 4 and see what happens. Yeah, see, why is that blue? Is there a missing file?
Okay.
It didn't give her a warning.
No.
It's got a
Of a
missing
missing
file. How can you
file.
have a waveform? How would it know what it looks like?
Well, exactly, yeah.
But if you do have a missing file with Ableton, it will give you a warning saying, hey,
Yeah.
there's a missing file.
Yeah, so it's definitely there. Why is it not playing?
Something really simple is like not happened.
What's the one up top from that one, Scotty? That says clip to deactivate.
Yeah, that's the one that I no longer used. So I
Okay.
basically beefed up that bottom one so we didn't have 2 quick clicks, because when we had the 2 bass drums working together,
Mm-hmm.
they were kind of phasing off each other. So what I done is I beefed up the lower one to match how it sounded,
And got rid of the
and then we
extra.
got rid of the phasing
Yes,
in the bass. Yeah.
Huh.
So if we switch number 4 on again, I wonder if there's something automation-wise in there.
Yeah, why. I don't know. I don't know.
See,
why
the
it's blue.
snare at the bridge is doing the same thing. Look, it's blue as well. Right, let me search. I'll search this on Google and see if something tells me on Google. 2 seconds.
What does yours look like at your end, Scotty?
I don't have it open just now, Cressy. 2 seconds. Why?
You might have done something with
Able.
pre-export.
Turn track.
God damn it, Scotty, we're getting
Blue.
into Cleon country. Hurry! I need all photons now.
And our shield, Scotty.
Right, it says here a track appears blue typically because it's set to in monitoring mode, which means it's actively listening to the input signal without recording any clips. So if you press the down arrow for the snare, even just or the bass, whatever one we want, and let's see what's the input saying? Nothing.
Is it trying to do like a sidechain thing?
No, it shouldn't be. Let me just open mine, see what it says.
If Vicky were here, we go, no, it's this.
It's this. For fuck's
Ow,
sake.
seagull! Ow, ow,
Ow, my burger.
My burger.
burger.
Where I put this now? That'll be in Dropbox.
You could reopen the thing you exported, couldn't you? See what happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to wait to do. Yeah.
Good lad. Just thinking ahead.
Hang on, we might have sorted this out. Hang on, because they were in and not auto. Hang
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
switched off now, though. The kick's just switched off, so you'll have to turn number 4 back on. There we go. That should come in now. Yeah. So it is in there.
Cool. All you need to do is turn that snare back
So
off again.
They
Then.
were all in the in section instead of being auto.
Okay.
And then the one that the one bass drum that is in, you've deleted that, so there's no reason to have that on auto because there's nothing to listen to anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you just may have mistakenly just put those into in instead of auto.
I think it was Marlin.
It was the Marmite.
Marlin.
All right. Now, you want to go back and hear it now and see?
Yeah.
I love how my name all of a sudden has a D in it. Madeline.
Marlin.
Marlin. I get the fish, Marlin.
Oh yeah.
It's Marlin.
like that little sparkle, that little sprinkle
Oh,
of stars
there
at
she
the
goes. She likes it. I like it. Scott, how did you how did you just apply the reverb to the bass at the end? Is that an automation thing too?
Yeah, basically, you'll see down in your effects sends on that view there that you're looking at, there's one down there called Lamar Reverb or Lamar Bass Reverb or something, which is set up on, Reverb Lamar Bass, which is ABC. See the ones down at the bottom?
Right.
Yeah. So that one there, what I've done is I've put that reverb on a send, which is send number 3. So on the bass itself, you basically just go to send number 3 and then show automation for that send. So if you go to that bass line where it is, if you go up to the bass line or down to the bass line it'll be. So you can close those drums down just now because we're done with them. So you can just click that little, it just gives you a bit more space to work. And then you can open Lamar's bass. And then it's that third one. And if you hit A when you're on that third one, if you just grab the line underneath that bass, you can stretch that open so you can actually see the automation a bit more. Or no, sorry, the down arrow next to the bass 3. See that little arrow to your left-hand side there beside it, where you were, exactly where you were, where it says bass 3, there's a little arrow. If you click that, so you'll see there, that's the send. So that's basically the audio there. I just basically put an automation in which sends the gain of the volume of that bass into that reverb, and then it comes out of the reverb at the other end.
That's how you do it.
I think Luke was trying to show us how to do that too.
So your sends themselves, because if you want to create a send, what you do is down at the bottom there where it says reverb EQ8 blah 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 and delay reverb for Lamar's bass, you just right click there, and when you right click in there, I think it's insert return. And what will happen is it will create basically number D or letter D will be your next one because you've got A, B, and C already in there before the master.
Okay.
So if you created one, say it was a delay or a phaser or whatever you wanted to put in there, you just basically create a return, then you just drop your effect onto that return. So your effect's then in there. I always put a bit of EQ because it's always good to EQ effects. It gets rid of muddiness and everything. Always treat an effect like another instrument.
Oh,
So you're getting rid of all the muddiness in the low end, especially if you're putting it on a bass. But what will happen is if you look at the bass track where Lamar's bass is on, to the right-hand side where it says number 18, then you've got minus 3.5 underneath that. Do you see that? Just on the bass track itself?
Yes.
And then underneath that, you've got 3 boxes. That's A, that's B, that's C. If you created another one down there with a phaser, you would end up with another one of these boxes added, and that is your send to that effect. So you would just right-click on one of those boxes. If you wanted to send to D, you just right-click on one of those boxes and say Show Automation, and then you just draw it in.
Okay.
If you followed that. That was quite quick, I know, but...
I did for the most part because we've done it on a couple of other tracks.
Yeah, before.
Where we were trying to do fade-ins. But now we're just going to drop in an effect, but we're going to draw it in where we want it to take hold.
And where it's really useful is like if you've got vocals and you just want like a certain word or phrase to be going through a delay, you can basically just draw the automation over that one word and it goes through the delay, and then you turn the automation back down after that one word and the rest of the vocals just come through normally. So you can do all this kind of very cool sort of dressing vocals up with that kind of thing.
Okay, so for the second track, and I know we're not there yet, but for the second track we start working on here, it has the 3 dialogue portions. And at the end, we didn't want to augment the speaker's voice with anything, no effects. But at the end, it would be nice, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but at his last few 10 seconds, we drop in a effect to kind of make it tail out a little longer and add a little something to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it'll be easy. You can easily do that in Ableton.
And that
Yeah,
way,
very easy.
Yeah.
And that way, if we can get the reverb or like a delay on it to carry over until I'm literally done making the transition in the song and that's still carrying over, I think would have a nice effect too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I like how the song is coming along. It sounds really good. Cressy, did you come up with any lyrics?
Yeah, he sent them on a WhatsApp this morning. He didn't. Share it
Oh,
with you.
okay. Okay. No, he didn't send them to me.
So now do you want to hear where the bass fades out? And he had Lamar had to walk away, so he didn't hear
Yeah,
any of
yeah.
this,
Let me
so-
hear what it said.
Yeah.
Real quick before you
Yeah.
do that,
Oh, sorry, on you go. On you go.
Cressy, did you get my other email with the
No.
possible chorus? You didn't see that?
Oh, saw the text. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was an email. Wasn't it an email that I sent you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So remind me, because my memory is a little bit different on this. I thought we were going to keep the kick and get rid of the snare. Are we keeping the snare now?
No,
'Cause it's in at the moment, isn't it?
yeah, but it's only in up until the last portion, which is the solo.
And it drops out automatically anyway.
Then
Oh,
they
I thought
all-
we were going to kill it, but okay.
Wait,
And
so
the
so
kick drum, you said you were going to end in 3, 2, 1. You've not adjusted your kick drum to
No.
stop at 3, 2, 1. So that needs doing.
Yeah, because that was something that was mentioned last night, that you
Yeah.
wanted the kick to stop when the solo came in.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, where the snare stops now, you want the kick to stop. If that makes sense.
Well, I thought
When-
the kick faded out shortly after the snare stopped.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
So if you're happy with that, that's fine. That's
Well,
fine.
let's
It was
let
just something that was mentioned last night.
Yeah.
let's let Lamar listen to it
Yeah,
now,
let me
so
hear
he
what
can
it-
hear it
yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bit more first.
It'd be hard to hear it, right?
I like how it doesn't come to an abrupt stop. I like how it
fades down.
fades down.
Right. And
makes more sense.
the snare
It feels
dies
more
out.
natural that way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drummer would do. He would just fade. He would just start to fade down.
Yeah, and the snare fades out well before.
Yep.
And
I like that.
You'll notice in the bass that some of that EQ there that you're looking at, there's quite a few sort of clinical cuts in that EQ that there was like some resonance. I think it was just coming from the effects on the bass, and it wasn't really serving any purpose apart from kind of you were losing a lot of the rest of the song just through these resonances coming through.
Right.
So I took them out. Well, just basically a really sharp cue on the EQ and found the frequency. A good way to do that, which is a good learning curve for you guys, is if you hear something you're not liking, like a hum or a whistle or a frequency that's coming through and it sort of creates a doo and it keeps coming back, do that like a really sort of sharp cue, which is the cue up full, and then boost the gain fully up so you've got it at maximum, and sweep back and forward with the EQ, the actual frequency, and find the frequency that's actually screaming. You'll hear it straight away. And when you find that, stay on it and then just reduce the gain and pull it down a little bit until it sounds more natural. And that's what I'd done with them. There was like 3 sort of fundamental frequencies that were not fundamental, but they were kind of making it sound like the bass was out of tune when it wasn't. And that's why they're in there. And I put a bit of saturation on the bass as well, which gives it a bit more warmth and body.
Okay, wait, Scott. Let's start with the glue compressor. Is it common definition with the word compressor and the glue? Can you explain exactly what, in layman's terms, basically? Yeah,
well, the glue compressor, this one in the Ableton's a very good one because you've got the dry wet signal in there, which is really, really handy because you can do what they call parallel compression. So you can hammer it, which we've done on the bass tracks, and have it basically flattening the whole bass out. So the compressor's doing that, but then you take it from being fully wet to maybe 11 o'clock. So you're still getting a lot of the original signal through, but that sort of fully compressed signal that's parallel and running with it, which is coming through the compressor, kind of just fills out the body and just keeps it a bit more under control. And that's basically where the glue compressor shines. That, and if you put it over, which you'll see I've got the glue compressor on each individual bass track, which is parallel compression, so it's not fully wet. But on the actual bus itself, I've got a tiny little bit of compression just on the full bus, just to try and level all the basses out and just keep them all sounding the same. Glue does exactly that. It's great to have on a drum track because it does just glue all the sounds together, rather than them sounding all individual. It's a very common trick. And it does just kind of pulls the track together. It just makes things sound a bit more cohesive. But you'll see on all the individual tracks, the dry wet on the compressor's about 11 o'clock, but we are absolutely hammering the bass with that compressor, so we don't want it fully up because the bass would just sound dead. So when you take it back to 11 o'clock, you're still getting the feel from the bass and any of the sort of expressiveness that Lamar's putting in, but the compressed signal, which is about, what you're talking, 30% of that, 40% maybe, the compressed signal is just giving it a bit more body and kind of keeping the highs and the lows a bit more controlled, like level-wise.
Right.
Okay, so why wouldn't you put a saturator on the bass? Because I've seen there's no saturation on there, or
there is on the master bus. So what I done is I put the saturation on basically the Lamar bass bus itself. You'll see there's a saturator on there at the very end after the glue compressor. So I've saturated it there, and that basically just keeps all the basses sounding the same, and it gives them all the same warmth. Okay, and I didn't do it per bass track because you're trying to save CPU. So it's because you're running all the basses through and it's all the same sound, you're as well just to do it on the the actual Lamar bass bus, if you like. Because we've grouped them, that is now a bus. So you can then, so you basically, what you can do is you can compress and control each individual track, then you group them together, then they go into a bus. You can also put a bit of compression on that bus as well, just to control it even more.
Right. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically you try to get them all as good as you can, and then on the Lamar bass bus or whatever bus, drum bus, whatever you want, throw another glue compressor on there, and don't have the needle going any more than 2 to 3 dB. For drums especially, have it on an attack of 3 and a very fast release, ratio of 4, and then you're basically adjusting the threshold so that that needle is really only going on the compressor itself. You're adjusting the threshold so that the needle is only going up to maybe halfway between 0 and 5 dB. And then you just use your makeup gain to get it back up to the volume it was before. And what that does is it tightens drums and things like that up. It just kind of tightens the kick, and it just controls it all a bit more.
Okay.
It's just easier when it comes to the mastering stage as well.
Okay, so when we have 3 different basses going per song, which is probably what it's going to be from here on off, you're just treating you're going to treat each instrument or each bass track
Individually. They'll all be similar.
Right.
But because, especially in this one, when Lamar was playing, some of it was like lower in the sort of range, the frequency range, because he was playing low down on his bass. And then when he was up into his solo, it was higher up his fretboard. So then that takes a bit of a different kind of processing technique, because he's further up. So you can actually remove a bit more lower end from it and things like that, because he's not going anywhere near that so low. And it's basically just trying to remove the low end as well. That's a big thing, as much as you can without it affecting the sound of his bass. So you're just cleaning up all that. You'll see I've got quite a lot of bass rolled off his bass here on each of the tracks. And it doesn't sound any less bassy. It just leaves room for everything else in the track, and it brightens the track up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it sounds counterintuitive that you remove bass to gain bass, but you really do. It just adds punch.
Makes sense to me.
And I think you're adding clarity too.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's kind of muddy when it comes in a little, and you just want to isolate the tones, right?
Yes, exactly.
What did you use for that last telling? Was that like a... what kind of, was it a delay or?
It was just a reverb.
A reverb.
It was just a stock
really nice.
Ableton reverb.
Yeah.
Ableton has a lot of stuff available.
Yeah.
To use. They really do give you a lot of tools.
Barring you know how to use it.
Yeah.
So, when Bicky came in with a couple of days ago with Cressy and I, he was telling us about how to adjust the reverb. I was just floored to how in depth you can get.
Oh, yeah.
With adjusting reverb. So on Ableton, because it looks weird to me when you're dealing more with numbers than knobs.
I think, but I also think that Scotty had a good point yesterday. I think what I'm going to do is just run an amp signal out of the GX, and I'm not going to have any effects. I'm just going to run it dry. For the
you'll be amazed at the difference in your recording if you do that, Lamar. It'll sound so clean, because what you can do is you can really tidy up that dry signal first. So you're doing all your compression, saturation, all the rest of it before you even put it into effects, and it'll just sound even clearer and smoother and warmer.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
hang on one second. I don't want to forget this. When we go live, Scotty, we're not DAW people. We want to remain DAW-less, but would it hurt us to stay into PC mode live, play out of Ableton, and run Ableton effects on certain instruments and things?
But live?
Yes.
When you're going...
When we're playing live.
Yeah.
You may struggle with that because of latency.
Oh, okay. So we can't use Ableton Live as essentially a effects chain.
No,
All right.
No, because you would have, it wouldn't be much latency, because computers are far better nowadays than they used to be, but there will still be a bit of latency there. And I think it would throw you out. And then when you're streaming on top of that, because everyone's relying on you guys to be as tight as a duck's arse.
No.
Let me
rephrase that. Not
so this is going
streaming.
out in shows.
I'm talking about when we're out
being
at shows
somewhere,
and we're doing live events and live private residence.
Yeah.
You could certainly try it. You would have to set your buffer to be quite, you know, your audio buffer.
Yeah. Yep.
You would have to go into there and set it to be quite sort of middle of the roadish so that you didn't have too much latency. Like I can play through Ableton with my keyboards because anytime I done a live stream not that long ago and it was all live. And if I have my PC's or my Mac is relatively old now. It's one of those 2013 dustbins. It's 12 core and it's got a lot of RAM, but I don't get much latency through it when I'm doing live. If I keep my buffer size on like 512, there's maybe a minimal amount of buffering.
That's where we are now. So I'm trying to understand why they're calling this Ableton Live and why people use this software for live shows on the road.
I think for the recordings.
But they're
it's like
not
Biscuit,
recording.
but it's like Biscuit said, you can use it for backtracking stuff.
Yeah.
That's what
Right?
I'm saying, for the recordings. that
So,
they do
like,
actual-
if you have
They've done it in the
if
studio
you have
and they want to bring it.
a vocalist who needs that backtracking,
Yeah.
you can have the backtracking in Ableton and then have the vocalist do the lead.
So if Lamar and I recorded the whole session that we wanted to play in someone's private residence through Ableton, hit play, we wouldn't really have to do much, but just sit there and watch Ableton.
Yeah.
Right, if that.
If that.
So
But
I think
if you set your
Ableton.
buffer size up right, I think you would certainly get it close enough for a gig.
So I think Ableton for us would come in handy. For example, this next song that's coming, Starseed, if you wanted to do those monologues,
The dialogue.
yeah, you
That's
just
when it's
hit
gonna
it,
come in handy.
and there, yeah, and then it comes in.
Or do you already generate this video through
It
DaVinci?
depends on what type of show we're doing.
Right, but hear me out. You generate this video and other videos for when we go to private residence through DaVinci
With the monologue
and
in
then
there.
essentially my brother and I can play live, but we're essentially scoring
So
the
To an
entire
already
project
here's the
pre-recorded-
only problem
to a
with that.
pre-recorded video.
So here's the only problem with that. Remember how you earlier asked Scotty about on this next one, can we do something similar with that
dialogue at the
effect
end,
at the
right.
end?
Mhm.
You wouldn't be able to achieve that same thing if I'm doing it in DaVinci.
You can't record it. or
It
put
just doesn't
into-
have those tools.
Yeah, it doesn't have the sends to be able to
Right.
send it to the
Right.
effect.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
We could possibly do it in DaVinci and then I can just grab that wave file,
And then bring it into
right? And then
Ableton.
stitch it up with the video. I could do that, right, Scotty?
Yeah, and one other thing that you can do as well is I don't know what you take on your gigs with you, but say for argument's sake, you've got your sub 37 with you. You can map the send for that track only on that track. If that's the one you open in Ableton, you can map the send of that track, basically right click on it and learn, I think is what you do. And then you turn one of the knobs on the sub 37 and that knob is now your volume, your send.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha,
So you can
gotcha.
actually control it from a synth. So if you wanted to just fade some reverb in, you could say, well, I know that that's on. I'm not using the sub 37 at that track or whatever synth. You can do it with any synth
Right.
and just say, I know if I turn the cutoff frequency knob on the sub 37, it's
Yeah.
now going to fade that reverb into his bass or
I
whatever
could do it
will
on
be.
my mixer then.
You could do it on your
Or your
QLab,
mixer,
couldn't
if
you?
it
could-
sends
'cause-
CC messages, you're
Yes.
fine. Yeah.
Because I have on the mixer, I already had the collider pedal as a send for all 24 tracks. All I have to do is just turn the knob for that specific. Like I've done it before.
Yeah. So
All I
it's-
have to
it's
do is
doable.
turn the effects knob up.
Gotcha.
At that point, it will tail out depending on how I set my pedal up.
So okay, so we've listened to the song maybe 3-4 times now. Cressy, what do you think of it?
Have we fixed everything on it then?
What was left? He
So you
faded
fixed the bass drum to go out the right time. You can fix the snare drum to go out the right time.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. Have you resaved it yet? And is your save? Is your what you've opened? Someone sent you that updated file. Where's the updated file? Is that in your core Ableton place, or is it just you've opened it from the desktop, or what have you done?
It's on the desktop in a different folder, completely different
Right.
folder.
You need to go and resave it into where your main Ableton is. so you can find it at a later date in like 6 months where you go like, where was it?
Oh, yes. What I do, and it's probably just overdoing it, but I created a whole album folder, and then within that folder, I have different folders. So this new folder that I created is in the first album folder, so that I know these are the songs going into the first album, and within that folder, each song has a folder.
Yeah.
And then within those folders, there's different folders.
What you also want to add is like a completed project folder, so you know that the ones that are in there are the ones that are completed and ready to be mastered when it comes to it.
100 steps ahead of you, and it's already in there.
I knew you would be. I just thought, check.
You know. It's already there.
Oh, shit.
It's the only, it's just for my brain power too. It's the only way that I know where everything is. It just has to be organized, or we won't know where we stand with everything. So there is a completed folder in there as well.
What is Tracker Jack saying? We could though. Was he referring to?
I think the live.
We
portion.
could play through Ableton and use Ableton as an effects for different instruments. Is that what you were talking about, Tracker?
I think so, because I think
Tracker and Thomas, I think, were alluding to something.
Because I think
don't know if
Biscuit
Chrome
said
got it.
the same thing too.
Oh, okay.
Like a backing, like have things set,
like tracking. Yeah. Because
and then you can just click them when that song comes.
okay.
In a perfect world, you could, but we don't live in a perfect world. do we?
No.
So
Do me a
when
favor.
you take stuff out, your live is never going to be as good as your studio. And if you try and do, so all these things are possible, what we're talking about, but they're also fucking stupid, because when you're going live, you got so many new things you are hoping is going to work.
Right.
You want something to work. You don't want your audience standing there going like, yeah, I just need to, something's not working. I don't know what it is. If you push the boat so far out with your technology, you're going to have a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't rely on
Row it
sensors.
back a bit.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you can do all these things, but you'd like it to go correctly, wouldn't you? And you'd like it to be repeatable, and you don't want it to take 2 hours to set up.
And you want it to sound live. You don't want it to sound like it's coming
when
from
we
you don't want to end up being robots miming to a backing track.
Right. Because I remember yesterday.
You don't want to be Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
For real.
You do. He's a fucking multi-millionaire, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in like the beginning when they were caught, lip syncing.
But
now you do, yeah.
When we were working on the track yesterday.
Milli Vanilli, that was, not Vanilla.
Yeah,
Oh, Manila,
Manila,
you're
yeah,
right. You're right. Yeah.
When we were working on the track yesterday, I realized, because we kept going back and forth, that I was manually going in and out of the sections. And that's just like 1 day of practice. If I get in here and do 5 days in a row of muting certain things and bringing certain things in,
Sounds nice.
So on this one, I think, and then Cressy, because he has notes and mental notes or written down notes, whatever, on this song, he'll know more than I do. I think what's left for this one is to solidify vocals, if we're going to do vocals. And then after that, then we got to connect with Scotty at some point in time before we start recording Starseed, so that we can have a master
template,
Ableton template, where everything is
labeled,
queued up right, and Ableton is slave to TR8S.
Yes.
Okay. Am I correct in saying all of that?
When are you ever wrong?
Oh my
I can be wrong all the time.
Everyone is
admit it?
scared to
No.
disagree. Everyone is scared to disagree.
I was waiting for Scotty to say something else. Plus, I'm out of my element anyway.
Furthest away, he's got a bit more lead time to hide.
I wasn't going to be the first to jump in.
Look, right? I'm like, come on, people say something.
I'm out of my element, Donnie.
But is that like our next steps?
I would say, how about we run this? We do a poll. Do people think that this song is wrapped?
Okay.
General feeling of the song.
Besides maybe adding vocals or not adding vocals.
Well, no. Run that first,
Okay.
Run it as what so we're not clouding the issue. What we can hear currently.
Okay.
How do people think about it currently?
Should we
Do
play
you
the
think
track from the
And
it's
yeah.
done and cool and
Should we-
or what? Is it good or not?
So
Basically,
should we play the track from the
Yeah.
beginning then?
Hang on. Hold on. Let me get the poll up before you do that.
I could play it while you're doing it. So
No,
you
no,
can
no,
vote.
because I want it there.
Uh-huh.
It's so then they can hear it while the
Oh,
question's
okay.
there. Yeah.
so just for everybody in chat, what do you think of this mix? Do you think it's a done deal? Do you think we're done? Well, have we gone past the finish line?
Is it ready to be mastered? Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, you can tweak things fucking forever, but at a certain point you got to abandon it and you go like, it's not annoying anybody any bit or any bits of it annoying you. So therefore, you're just going to say no, basically.
Right.
Right.
If it all sounds cool to you, then we're done. But you know, you're the audience. You're the people who might be buying it and listening to it. So
Exactly.
it'd be good to hear from you.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we're not going to try Cress's vocals today. Did you get that through in a WhatsApp? But we're not going to try and drop them in.
We might play them later, but let's do this first.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're standing. If we think it's sounding cool,
I wasn't asking you. I was asking Lamont.
shut up, Press Ed. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Shutting up.
Fucking great, Scott. That was fucking great.
For someone who's scared, you're not scared of me. Oh yeah.
No, definitely not scared of you.
Standing up to you, you twit. Yeah, twit.
That's hilarious.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, so the question for the poll will be: is this song that is currently playing complete in your opinion?
Okay.
Okay, so now you can play.
that last swell really does it for me.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad she said it. I'm glad she said it. That means Daddy is delivering the goods.
Daddy's delivering the pipe blood.
I'm just a little bit scared now because my swell just got you horny.
Yeah. You know, Scotty, I'm just 15-hour flight away. It's really not that bad. The anticipation is everything.
Well, the consensus is in. Everybody thinks that it is complete.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks
72%.
72%.
Yeah.
It's democracy here.
3/4 of the community says complete.
Damn. That is the democracy. Okay, so I mean, what does that say about the?
So next, I think is
Okay, what's next, Cressy?
So next question: vocals, yes or no? What do you think, Cressy?
So currently we've got a finished piece of music. If we add vocals to it, you probably need to remix it again because it's a new something new's going to come into the mix, and you probably need to make room for it.
That's all right. That's what duckers are for, mate.
Right.
You're automating everything you do, don't you? Okay.
So let's see. Let me end that poll.
Start a new one.
Wagyu is saying, I could still hear Marilyn's vocals harmonizing, replacing being in unison with some of those high lead lines to give it more ethereal, organic element.
That's very descriptive.
That's very descriptive.
Very descriptive.
So the thing that I did is like a list of caveats before you listen to it, just so you're completely aware. One, it's 8 bars that is repeated, I think, 6 times. So it's going to be really boring about 30 seconds in because you can hear it over and over again. 2, the vocal, well, 2, my throat was shit. So, and the range for that vocal is out of my range, so I had to use a vocoder. So what you're going to hear is sort of, it's going to sound robotic and whatever, and it's going to be very repetitive. So there's lots of like things you got to like put onto the plate before you even really start listening to it. And the idea would be, my idea would be, it's not in my range for singing, therefore somebody else that a lot of people are scared of will probably be singing instead.
That's you, is it not, Cressy?
Wagyu said
me.
he voted no because he thinks Marilyn's voice would fit well.
Okay.
I think it would. And how I feel about vocals on this, I think I said yesterday or the day before that it wouldn't. I don't think it would benefit from turning it into a song.
Right.
As in, it's got verses, bridges, and choruses of vocals. I think if you're going to add vocals, they are tiny little, and it is Thursday. Sprinkles that go on top.
Little
So kind of like what Wagyu was saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just something that will complement what's going on now.
Doesn't kill it. Just
Right.
Always. And I said that yesterday. We don't know until we hear it.
Okay, so let's poll that. Let's poll how many people think vocals should go on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm good with it. The track sounds very. It's nice and neat. You know,
It is.
It sounds full at the minute. So
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Are you happy with how your bass is sounding and stuff, Lamar? Yeah.
Oh, I'm tickled. I'm fucking
Good.
tickled pink.
And I think too,
that is the main driver for the track, is that
It
bass.
is.
Yeah, I
It
thought it
is.
sounded really good. I thought it sounded warm as shit.
And I think too, Scotty and Cressy, like this is how all the following tracks should go when it comes to having people featuring on it. You know, there's elements of us, but then there's the character.
how do you feel about it? Because we were talking yesterday about things that you've created that are currently muted and not in this track. Are you okay with? Because you can see a bigger picture. You know there's extra things. Is anything that is you've had muted for a long time? Thinking, I'd love to have put that back.
No, because
no, you're okay with everything or not?
yeah, I'm good with it because one, the wave state, the wave table was there exactly how I
I've seen
imagined it to be. The pad sound is exactly how it should be. The drums are essentially the same kit that's coming along with this. And then it opens the room for featuring guest star in my book. Like the only thing that can't be really replaced is Lamar, right? Because it's the lead singer in the show. But all the other little elements, I can supply those in different ways when we're doing a live show. So
You can take out Scott's snare drum live. You just need to sample it, and then just swap out whatever your current snare drum is to that composite snare drum. You
right,
can then
just
take
doing it
that
in the
live.
8S. Yep.
Yeah.
I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it takes a person who, like you said, who can see the bigger picture and don't put your ego in front of it, because then you're not going to get anywhere, you know? So
But you got to be happy. You know, you don't want to be a year away
ultimately,
going, oh,
yes.
fucking hell, I should have said something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I still want characteristics from the song, from the album. I still want people to go, that's the same song, but it's different live, you know?
Yeah.
And like Scott said yesterday, that it opened my eyes. Well, I guess both of you said it, was for the next track to leave that sampled voice, the oohs or the ahs in there, you know?
Oh, for the Starseed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
that
think
to me
that's-
is with it's like Lamar's bass is always going to be the sort of driving force behind it, because the groove's there. But that sample or whatever it is that comes in, that that keeps periodically coming in,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a
just adds it just adds so much to that track.
Yeah.
For one hit every so often, it's amazing
Yeah.
the difference it makes if you take that out.
I think if you take that out, you completely lose the soul of the song.
Right, because
It's,
people will go,
it's
oh,
an
what
audio
happened to-"
motif.
It
Yeah.
is,
And
yeah,
you go- and you go to
exactly.
play it
Chris.
live, and they're like,
Well, what happened?
what song is this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
That has to stay in there.
And that was a patch I created in on the Wave State editor. So
Yeah. Do you want me to get this poll going? Do you want to play it one more time so people can hear
yeah,
it while I put the poll up?
We could definitely play it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think we can.
And if anyone hears anything, we can change it. You know,
Right.
if there's anything at all
Yeah.
that somebody says, I'm not too
I
sure
did
about
that
that.
this last round, but I'm gonna
No,
do,
we can't,
I'm gonna
Scotty.
do that more
Shut up.
again. You see there, Scott? It was waiting.
She's back. She's back.
Just
And
when
I'm
you
back.
thought she was gone.
Back again. Okay, you want to hit play?
Yeah. Samurai said he gonna enjoy this album.
Yes, sir. Let's see. The attorney and came in with it. We got some renegades in this bitch.
There's a lot of opinions
There's
in
a
the chat.
lot of mixed views.
I was just to say, haven't we got a really engaged chat?
Yeah.
Yes, this is what you want.
So I get what Wagyu is saying. It's not necessarily vocals in a sense as lyrics.
It's just like Cressy was saying, sampled in and out of the song.
Right. And Wagyu was saying the same thing, kind of like maybe a few words here or there, or harmonizing with a certain instrument.
Yeah, just like oohs and ahs or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Breathy kind of vocals.
Right.
Don't
Yeah,
know
I
who
think
could do them. Who could do them?
I don't know.
Let me think.
Cornish probably.
Yeah, Cornish.
I've got the ideal man.
Cornish always does.
No.
Huh?
James
Dyson?
Dyson. Yeah, his voice is amazing. Haven't you heard it?
No.
I have. I've heard his voice.
I've
Very
talk.
ghostly, apparently.
I've seen his
gunslinger.
charades he plays. He plays a mean game of charades.
He'd win every one, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I don't know. I think if maybe if we can do something, it'll work. We can try it and then
If it doesn't
poll
work,
it.
If it
if it doesn't work, it doesn't
Let
work.
him hear it.
What did the poll say? Who?
64% of the people said no. 35% of the people said yes.
There you have it.
But then if you read the chat,
It's still indecisive.
everybody was still very indecisive. Yeah.
Do they want to hear my shit vocals then?
I think we should.
Yeah.
How
not
am
gonna-
I
And they won't be
gonna-
shit, Chrissy. So just stop
You
that.
ain't heard of mate. My throat's full.
Let me see how I
Cressy's
can.
he's
It's
all
a
good.
YouTube link. It's an unlisted YouTube link, so you should be able to like grab it off WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Cressy's good at downing himself, but when others do it, he's fucking right
Yeah,
there. to
he
say, shut the
pissed-
fuck up. You're not.
Yeah.
It's very repetitive. That's what I'm saying.
Carter said, my voice has been compared to a rabid dog vomiting.
Damn, Paul.
Jeez.
No, we ain't using no death whistle, Samurai. Take
Yeah,
that bullshit
no.
somewhere else.
Yeah, get the death whistle in there.
Yeah.
Don't get the Samurai started, Scotty. This dude will go.
No death whistle.
He'll start chopping
And
everybody.
it could have been some samurai in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's always good to see the
As
Samurai
long as
here.
he doesn't bring in the
The
death,
death
whistle.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a bit of reverb, you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right,
Have
well,
you heard the death whistle? Cressy, you heard the death whistle,
I
right?
have, yeah, I have, yeah.
It's a reason why they call it the death
I looked
whistle.
at buying one. I found it on Amazon. So yeah.
Jesus.
It's priceless. What his wife was that? His wife that was like,
Oh
what the
my
fuck
God!
was that?
Yes.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
God,
Oh, fuck are we doing here?
Jesus Christ.
that was priceless.
You know she's probably on edge every time he does this. He's all fucking loud and
Yeah.
shit. You know he's in there.
The
What
best.
are we doing with Behringer? She's
Yeah,
probably like,
that
oh my
was- I
God, he's
was
fucking up there
just-
doing this shit.
I was just gonna say that, LeVar. The
Yeah.
best one I've seen to date was when we were done with our discussion of Behringer, and then he hopped on and did a quick live and had the same discussion, and he was just going ham.
Going-
and
yeah.
his wife comes in.
It sets the show right.
It's like, you need to calm down.
Right. You know, we're out here, and I got Echo Craft,
Yeah.
and we're doing all this, and what
And
about
then you see
Uli
him-
and the Behringers, and
And then you see him turn,
Kumite.
wait, and then you see him turn around,
Yeah.
right? Like looking behind him,
He goes, oh, fuck.
and then he starts laughing.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a man.
I went too far in character,
Fucking
babe.
silly
I'm
giggle
sorry.
is here.
Yeah.
Fucking, he got a silly ass giggle.
Oh, he did. Wait. Oh my God, that's. I
I'm
was
gonna
just
go to
gonna
the goddamn
say that.
steakhouse, and I'm gonna get some ketchup on that bitch, and we're gonna eat some Behringers.
So I wanted to mention that I've never heard a person, let alone a man, have the quietest laugh in the whole fucking world.
yeah.
I'm like, is he laughing?
Sound like a bunch of chipmunks
what is
cackling
this?
and shit. Yeah.
It was priceless. I loved it.
Get your feminine ass on somewhere. That manly voice and that little fucking laugh. Get the fuck out of here with that
I was
shit.
like, oh my babe, is he laughing? What's going on? What is this? It was, it was
Samurai.
priceless.
Yeah, I know.
My stomach hurt when his wife came in.
Yeah.
Oh, he said that's because he
'Cause
has
I
a
got the
limiter
limiter
on
on the
his
mic.
mic.
Limiter on the mic. I've heard it all now.
That's got to be the top excuse, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
come on,
absolutely.
guys. I got a
I've
limiter
got
on
a
it.
gluten
Yeah.
pressure on it, so it won't do it. No.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's fucking priceless.
God damn it, we love you, Samurai.
Oh,
Welcome to
man.
Monkey Island.
Etarius Beaver Wheats just went in on his ass.
Roasted his ass, too.
Oh, man. That
You ju-
laugh
you-
kills me.
You just know after he typed that message, he went,
God damn it.
Wait. Hold on. I didn't hear you. Do that again, Scotty?
Sample.
Yeah, we are making content for him. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
shit.
Well, it's a good thing the
You're
panda
welcome,
ain't here.
Samurai.
Shit. Yeah. Oh my God. To get going on the Samurai now,
Forget
he gets charged up and goes
That's
into
it.
his show. I'm charged up. Thank you, S.O.R.
Yeah. We just
Monkey Island is throwing steak barragers at us over here.
he just literally pulled up at the gas station and filled it up. Jeez. Okay, these are Cressies.
Yeah. I like to hear them through and through. They sounded great.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. I'll play it.
Oh, I'm sure, Studio. I'm sure Echo Craft's wife is listening to that shit.
Yeah. I like how Echo Crappy putting the Samurai in his fucking place.
Sometimes Echo goes in on everybody, especially Machines One. Echo be like, man, fuck y'all.
I love
Straight up.
I love Echo Craft, and then I just drop little.
He's so neutral.
He is, and then I drop little comments in there
Yeah.
that just kind of fires him up even more. I'm like, yes,
Hans
Echo,
Vogt
you
and Echo
tell him.
are like the peacekeepers. You know, they're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
do we really have to go to war, Samurai?
Yeah, but Echo's like, really?
Yeah,
like,
we
come
We
on.
don't really have to.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
Shit,
go.
stop fucking around.
All right.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Fucking with that Samurai.
Wait,
Get you
hold
doing
on.
this shit.
Hold on. God damn, Scotty. Oh, man. Okay. This is
Paulo Hanzo.
all right, this is Cressy.
I like this texture. Oh, and follow up behind him. Oh, you kill it now. Yeah. I think because it sounds like it's out of key because it's not in the mix. It's over an MP3.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening, Cressy's just throwing out ideas of things we can say
Yeah.
in random areas of the song. So it's not meant to be taken literally in the song. We're just trying to extrapolate ideas. Go ahead and finish the rest of it.
Oh, I just.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, that was
That's
it. That
fine.
was the
That's
gist
fine.
of it. Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely hear vocals if we're aiming to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely hear it in the right after the break.
Yeah, and Wagyu was saying what I was thinking.
Up tempo.
It doesn't really need words. I thought if you did something like an ah or some oohs,
I know exactly what Wagyu was thinking about. Yeah.
It just needs those chants,
that ethereal, sounding type,
the chants. So what we'll do is, we already got the vote. We understand that. But what we'll do is, on our end, we'll run vocals, we'll record vocals, and we'll see how they sound. And we'll let everybody hear them, and we'll do another poll.
Yeah, we can try both.
Because we can't really truly rule it out until we've heard it, right? Like, that's kind of irrelevant that we're doing the poll in the beginning. So, but as far as that, this song is cooked. So I say we can, if we're going to do something like like Popcorn Night, we'll introduce the vocals or something to see how it sounds. But we can move on to the next song.
Yeah, and then Rabbit, what we can do is, I guess we can try and figure out how to get 2 representations, right? One with
The B-side and the A-side?
a B-side and A-side, and then we'll see which one people like the most.
Yeah.
That would mean we would have to record it and send it back to Scott so he can layer it in there.
Right.
That shouldn't be too hard.
That
though.
shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, and we could probably do that with Scotty's help
Oh, yeah.
and guidance. We could do it
Right.
on our end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Because there's nothing else changing, right? Too much. If you're doing it right and you're laying it in the correct spots, there shouldn't be too much that needs to be done to it.
Yeah, and we don't have to group anything else.
Right. Because it's kind of, you're enhancing the song, not changing it. So there shouldn't be too much need to change a whole lot.
How do you feel about the vocals, Scotty?
Yeah, I definitely think there's potential within them. It's hard to hear it the way it was coming through there. It was just,
Well, we had live mics in the background, people talking.
yeah.
I think it just needs to be recorded and sent off, see
And
what you guys
balanced a bit and
think,
see how it sounds. Yeah.
and then we can go from there.
You wouldn't have to use the words. You could just use the melody. If you're talking about what Wagyu was on about, you could just do R's and
Yeah.
R's. And again, it only needs a little sprinkle. Doesn't it doesn't need to go on for 3 fucking minutes.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
no.
But
So
at the moment, for me, I mean, I voted no for vocals. So
I did too.
So to me, it's sort of done. But
Yeah.
put it as a we'll try it.
Right.
But it's if we get vocals, it's a bonus, and if we don't, we've got a cool track already done anyway.
Yeah,
And if it doesn't work, there's always like the oohs and ahs if you wanted to try that, and there's elements of, I think it was Wagyu that mentioned the sort of ethnic sort of chanties, just sort of
the choir
ethereal sort of just ethereal sort of oohs and ahs with lots of reverb just to add a bit of interest in there. But
I don't think it needs a whole lot.
no,
At
that
all.
certainly
If-
doesn't. You could end up overcooking it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. If it even needs vocals
So
or anything.
So today is Thursday, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of us who are working on this track, this is to you guys. I think it's a wrap, and
It's a wrap.
we should get prepped
For the next
for
one.
the
Yeah.
next track for Monday.
Yes.
What are we thinking?
Yep.
Yeah.
This goose is cooked.
It's cooked
What do you think, Chris?
and it has a lot of
It's
Marmite on it.
Not to do with me. It's Scotty making a template, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's he
Please.
fixed the weekend?
What do you think, Scott? Can we get prepped for the next track and get everything set template wise for Monday?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I need to work out how to sync Ableton to an external device, but it shouldn't be too hard. It's quite useful that one of my best friends he's about to stop working for Ableton, but he's been working for Ableton for years, so I'll touch base with him and just find
Just
out
need
from
like
him the
a
best way to
machine or
do it.
something to make sure that's
Yeah, or I've got Clock that sends out as well, Cressy, from the synths, when I play a sequencer from the synth, so I can just...
But clock isn't. Do you have a start-stop, or is it just a clock?
No, it's start-stop on a sequencer, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it has an internal sequencer, yeah.
Yeah, most of them do, yeah. So I can just Sync it up to that so that when I press play on the synth, it kicks off Ableton and makes sure everything's working that way.
Studio 8FX said it's cooked like the Studio B burger.
Yeah.
It's done. The song is done.
It's a wrap.
I also, Scott, just so you know, I also have a midronome too. If you ever heard of that, it's like this external MIDI clocking device that has its own start and stop. And
Oh, so I could set that up to talk to Ableton.
yeah, and I'll send a
Picture?
picture of this. Let me see if I can get a close up on the camera right.
A pic.
Yeah, but you don't
It's right
use
there.
it, do you? What you use is your MC707. So why you're adding it in?
He's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
blow it up. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. I've seen that actually.
But do you?
They're
use-
very good. They keep your clock fucking solid.
But he was saying, Cressy, to use it as to make Ableton be the slave.
Yeah, but that not only that, but I could take this live and instead of wearing out my TR8S with the stop and start, I just assume wear this box out with stop and start and have it clocking, have it being the master stop start. You know what I mean, Scott?
Yeah.
And it has-
I think it's basically just a case of deciding what is your master
okay, so
and then telling Ableton to receive rather than send clock.
right.
And
Right.
it should be as simple as that. But let me dig into it and find out through Mike. Because Ableton isn't my sort of go-to thing, but I'll easily find out.
On there, didn't they?
Sorry?
Did you say Cressy?
Halfguard just put up a thing of how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I
Just
It's on
enable
the
syncing
screen.
Ableton from TR8S and
So I thought that's how we had it set up.
see, you could even try that now and just see if it works because it looks like it's quite a quick thing to try.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah,
when
it's
you when you
it's
go into
never
your MIDI
quick.
settings, Lamont,
Close.
One of them. You would have been 50-50 right.
Yeah. Just put them low. You get it right then, wouldn't you?
doesn't help that they both start with lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blame the mother.
Fucking French names.
It's French and it's la, not
Le,
lamb.
le,
La.
le,
Yeah.
le monde.
Skirt
No, there's no le.
Lamont.
La.
Lamont.
Yeah.
I wish Thomas was in here. He would tell us what the names actually mean.
Oh, I know what to tell you. Lamar is the sun.
I thought it was the valley or
Nope.
something.
Right.
Lamont is the mountain.
Half God, half beast biscuit is saying go to settings and then MIDI.
Wait, and what in the TR8S or Ableton?
No in Ableton.
Ableton. Jesus.
Jesus, to be sure.
Jesus.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to ya.
Officer Folly.
Okay, go ahead. Now,
Potato.
what is Half God saying? Somebody read it to me. I can't see it.
Yeah, so right, you've got the TR8S just now. You've got, see the sync beside the TR8S? It's got off just now. So input TR8S. Why have we got two of them? Biscuit, I'll maybe be able to say. If you turn both syncs on the input,
He says go down to TR8S input, click sync.
on both of them.
Yep.
Why is that not going orange?
They're both saying they're on already.
No, that's the track. It's the sync beside it that needs to be on.
Okay, but that says
Yep,
Oh,
on,
okay.
on. And then come out of there. And he said, when you go up to press, just enable sync in Ableton from the TR8S and click external at the top of the screen when you press start on the TRS. So you should, at the top of the screen somewhere, there must be external. There you go, X. You're hovering over it now. So if you press that, now when you press start on the,
Vicky's getting frustrated. Scott, read the chat.
Yeah, read the chat sheet.
Did it?
I forgot to write in a book.
You've got to go into settings and take the remote off.
Okay, so I just hit start on the 8S, and it started Ableton.
Perfect.
It's moving right now, so the track should play right.
Yeah, I can see the bar going across.
No.
Yeah.
And if you hit stop, does it stop? There you
Yep.
go. We're sorted.
How hard was that?
Thanks, Biscuit.
There you go.
Arg.
Bicky Moon.
I think he's saying don't put the remote on. So I don't know if that was we tick 2 boxes. I think it was the one that maybe said control that he's wanting. Don't tick that.
Yeah, the lower one.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Try if you switch that off and see if it works.
But it's working, so
Yep.
Oh no, he's saying he always puts remote on as well, but it doesn't matter if it's working. It's good. So just leave that as it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
just
changed
leave
his mind.
Good, perfect.
Okay, so now does it save
Cheers, Biscuit.
that way, or do we have to do it every time?
I think that should remember that.
How about we try it? How about you save your scene, kill Ableton, bring it back, see what happens.
Yeah, just
then you'll
control
know.
S it. Yeah.
Hang on.
How do we get it to go back to the beginning? Remember how we could hit double stop here?
Right. Right.
Vicky's saying it should remember it.
Hang on.
Yeah. And then if you ever don't want it to operate like that, just up in that top left-hand corner, just switch that external off, and then you'll have your Ableton back via the computer.
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
Nice.
You see what? I think that's the way it'll work.
Yeah. And now I see the flashing yellow icon that's matching the tempo on my 8S. So that's a good indication that it's talking to.
And that's the thing we will have to remember is obviously we've got audio recordings in here, so Ableton will slave to the tempo of your TR-8S. So you need to make sure that your TR-8S is playing at the same tempo as what we've got all these recordings in there at, which is 120 beats a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, but I got all my stuff saved in there, so that's never going to change.
Biscuit says save project, close Ableton, reopen it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what they're doing. Wagyu won't let it go. Wagyu's like, God damn it, we're using Marilyn's voice. The Wags doesn't fucking normally come out and come unglued like this, so I think we're going to heed his advice before Wags comes unglued.
We're definitely going
I
to
think
get
Waggy's
you
on a bit of a mission, isn't he?
Yeah,
is.
he's fucking adamant.
We're
So
gonna
when
get you
somebody's
a-
adamant,
yeah,
we got to entertain it.
We're going to get you a B-side, and so everybody can hear a B-side, A-side.
Yeah.
So when you go in there and open it up, you have to click that external button.
Okay, so she's saying when we go in to open it up, we have to click the external button.
Hey, that's no hardship though. Everything else is
yeah.
remembered. Yeah.
Probably a good idea, isn't it? In case you haven't
Yeah.
got anything connected, it's
Yeah.
say by default it will work.
Right.
Yeah,
Fail-safe.
if you forgot, if you haven't switched on your TR-8S, and if you didn't do that, you're going, why isn't it fucking playing?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's trying to help you. So it's a good idea that they did that. That'll be customer feedback putting that in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's working. So solid. Okay. Sweet.
So now we just have to work on
Okay. So she's saying now we have to just, since that's solved, we just have to work on a master template.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that for you. That's no problem. So when you say master template, you just want basically some groups with
So because
maybe 4 or 5 bass tracks, things like that inside it.
Right. Because we don't know how many bass tracks we're going
Right.
to use. I think 5 is more than enough for one group. And then,
The thing is, you can always add more if you need to. You just
right.
duplicate it down the way. You just, if you hold Alt on your keyboard and drag a track down the way, it just duplicates that track. Even all
Right.
the plugins, everything goes with it.
yeah, I've done that accidentally.
You just delete the audio.
And I was like, oh look, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you learn a lot by doing things wrong
Yes, it's the best
or
way to
on
learn.
accident. Yeah.
The only thing we can get all 11 tracks for the 8S set up, but the only thing we can't do is start to label everything as a template because
The template
there's
you want to
so
leave
many
blank.
different there's so many different
Right.
samples for each instrument.
Yeah. So when you open up your template and going to record something, that's
Right.
when you can label it.
Label it.
Because then you're going to save it to something else.
Right.
Right.
But you
always
can
that
have
template.
generic ones in there. You can have like
Yes.
under the
Yes.
drums bus, we can just put in maybe 3 empty kick tracks,
Mm-hmm.
things like
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
3 empty closed hi-hats or whatever,
3
like
empty
two
snares.
of each, and then if you need more, you can just add more, you know. But yeah, we can do
Right.
like kick drum, percussion 1, percussion 2, and at least that way you've kind of got a general flow each time you're doing it, and you
Right.
can always rename them
Right.
at a later stage if you need to.
Yeah.
And then you prove to me that, well, for live, I'm still going to have to double up because when live with the 8S on my QSCs, because they could take so much power, if I just gain stage 1 bass drum, it gets clippy real quick and it doesn't sound right. But when I double them up during the live performance outdoors, it sounds nice and chunky and I don't have to gain it up, if that makes any sense for you.
Yeah.
But when you did it in Ableton, I was like, oh, cool. So now I don't have to burn another TRS.
2 kicks.
Right. I don't have
Yeah.
to burn a TRS track now.
The trouble is when you start to sort of layer 2 kicks together and they're both hitting, especially kicks that are so similar like that. It's a common technique to use 2 kicks, but you would use one for the click side of the kick, because sometimes the transient is what you would actually hear in a kick more than the actual bass itself. It's that whole sort of perception. It's
Right.
And you would use the second kick for the low end, so you would basically cut out the top end with an EQ and cut out the low end with another. But when you've got them both as fat as what these two were, what you end up getting is phasing within the bass, and it sounds confusing, very confusing.
Yeah, if you think of them as an actual real bass drum, how a bass drum works, you would mic it with 2 mics. You have a mic where the beater is, so you could have a wooden beater, which gives you a nice clicky sound, or you could have one that's covered in
fur
skin
or whatever,
in foam
yeah.
or whatever. So it's a soft thing. Then you have another mic in front of the actual drum for the actual whole sound that gets generated after you hit the click, after the beater hits the drum. So that's what we're talking about, 2 bass drums. So you want one that just hears the click, you want one that hears the drum. You don't want 2 complete drums with clicks layering over each other. You'd chop them down a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then I have to watch what I just realized too, when I was in here earlier, I was looking at the bass drum on that song for our live venue playing, and I noticed the decay was slightly increased on one of them too. So that was having one of the bass drums lasting slightly longer with a sub, while the other one was kind of short. The attack was really short, you know?
Yeah. But generally, if you pitch one up slightly, it would stop that phasing a bit. But generally, you just want to try and remove as much of the bottom end off one as you can, and just try to capture that click. But yeah, we'll get all that sorted in the next track anyway.
Okay, so Monday will be the next track. As far as recording, for the both of you guys, I don't know who signed up to feature on this next track. We have to go over that. But
Got Panda, haven't we, for the next track?
Panda's
okay, Panda's in.
And
Should
Steve wanted in, didn't he? Steve.
Oh yeah.
Steve wanted in.
Yeah.
Okay. So
there's
that's
2.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. So it's just locked to 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we record this and live on YouTube and let people see that tedious part, or shall I just go in and
The
just
thing is,
get it on?
Scott, are we going to record the MIDI as well as the audio?
Yeah, I would say it's probably a wise move. It just gives you more options, doesn't it?
We don't have to use it. It's just have it
Yeah,
there.
it's
Need
at
it.
least that way. Yeah. Well, the ideal example of that is that audio clip that I supplied, and it had a bit missing. I just had to basically play the MIDI back to the synth again and put the effects back on, and away we went. I didn't have to go and play the whole thing in again.
Yeah.
So the MIDI is always useful when you record anything from any synth. Record the MIDI and the audio.
Yeah.
That's always very useful. That's more of a Lamont thing. Because what happens then if there's one bum note in there and you're like, fuck, I'm just going to settle for this because the take was so good, but that one note pisses me off, you can go in and change the MIDI and just re-record it. You just play the MIDI back from Ableton to your instrument and just re-record the whole thing again.
Okay, is that something that's going to be a part of the template?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
Okay, so once it's the template, I don't have to remember this or have to worry about it again, basically.
Well, you do, because you have to activate both tracks when you go to record.
Yeah, once it's in there, you should just mute all your MIDI tracks, and so you just got the audio to listen back to. So you're not replaying your MIDI equipment live. You're not sending out MIDI from Ableton to replay your TR-8S or MC707.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just a click of a button once we have it on there on a tape.
Yeah, you just activate 2 tracks to record, and then what it'll do is it'll record the audio and it will record the MIDI. Or what you can do is just record the MIDI on its own, and if you're happy with that take, then you commit to audio after that, because it'll just play it back to your synth anyway. As long as you've got all your synths connected to your computer via MIDI, have you? Is everything connected via MIDI?
Via USB.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Not through a powered hub, I hope.
No.
I learned that lesson with a Prophet 6. It fried the internals because I got a spike in the powered hub.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which is apparently very common.
Should have bought a Behringer. Anyway.
Hey.
Hi-oh.
That'll be Synth Samurai coming back in.
More
now.
content for Synth Samurai. There you go.
Stop it, Cresty.
He
You're
never
going to get
left.
something.
He was waiting.
Yeah, he never left. He was waiting for somebody to say
He's just
something
taking
about
notes, mate. That's why I so quiet.
Slew. Okay. Now, okay, so we're going to start that Monday, is safe to say, Scott, or do you need you kind of want to leave it open as to when we start this next project?
Well, I can get building. No, I can get building that over the weekend. That's no problem. We shouldn't take too long to get that done. To be honest, the majority of the template, I could even use the old track that we've done here, as long as I stick to Make Sure and this time and stick to Ableton 10. Yeah, I can just use that project we've done, clear all the content out the inside of it, and just add certain tracks here, there, and just name them all and have the groups there.
Okay.
One thing with this track that I've sent you, the Ableton project, you'll notice in the master, which before you bounce it down for an MP3, before it goes to mastering, you'll have to switch off in the master. I've got a gate, I think it's a utility and a compressor or a leveler in there. It may just be a gain. It was just to lift it up to give it a bit more volume. If you click the master track itself, you'll see at the bottom there's is it just a utility that's in there? I can't remember what.
So
I put
utility and a glue compressor. Let me change the.
So before we put it into mastering, we would have to take that back down, because you always want about the whole track to be sitting about -12 for mastering, something like that, -12, -10. But
Okay.
it was just I lifted it to give myself a bit more volume in here, so I could shake my speakers a bit more. The Lamar's bass lines.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you did turn the gain to like almost 2 o'clock.
Yeah. It basically just had it peaking at 0. But all you do is switch the 2 of them off, and when we go to bounce it down, like when we actually record it to get the MP3 or the WAV file to send it to mastering or to whoever's mastering it, we just need to make sure those 2 are off, or the mastering engineer, whoever it is, whether it be online or person, has enough headroom. Mastering generally needs anywhere between if the whole track peaks around about -12, that gives the mastering engineer plenty of headroom to do his job, and he'll have it then bouncing at 0 for us.
Because they're going to want to bring it up a bit and then get it set for like streaming platforms and everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if we send him it and it's already bouncing at 10, at 0 dB, sorry, he's got no room to do any mastering with it at all. He can't do anything. So that's why we switched them off. But I just had them in there to give me a bit more volume when I was working with it.
Okay, so, and that's a road we'll cross when this album is completed. But back to the original question, do we record this in front of people, or should I just get this thing burned in and we just start working on cutting things and going back through the usual program? Is that content people are going to want to see? Because it may take a few takes.
That's one for the chat, I think, really.
Yeah. Chat, you wanna see people
Personally,
take a
I
bunch
would
of
find
takes.
it interesting. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would, but then a lot of people wouldn't. It just depends on people's experience level, I think.
Right.
Yeah, when MARELYN gets back, we'll put a
little poll up or
up,
just
yeah,
ask the
we'll
question.
pull a poll
Well,
up.
because not everybody tunes in. We'll be getting an unjust polling because not everybody's here today. And I say because we started this whole music endeavor, doing this for just to show what it's really like to record an album, I think you would want to see everything, the takes that come with it, the frustration,
The arguments, the fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't
What
always
about
fucking
yesterday?
rainbows.
How yesterday started off? Started off really crap, didn't
Started
it?
off like
And then
shit.
ended up with
guys-
one of your longest things. It was
Yeah,
a
if you
proper,
guys didn't see yesterday's,
it was a
yesterday's
proper
jam,
adventure.
the jam we did yesterday was fucking phenomenal, and it all started off on a kind of a bad foot, but it turned
Yeah.
out to be a really good show yesterday. So.
You didn't see the looks my wife gave me when I came to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh, I could imagine. You had a damn good jam session though. You did.
I did,
Biscuit
yeah.
was over 5 hours, mate. It wasn't 3.9 hours. It was over
Yeah,
5.
it was 5 hours. Vicky, you went to bed early.
You went to bed like halfway through.
Oh, Biscuit, yeah.
Yeah, even Kent
Yeah.
was like, "These are pub hours."
Yeah. And then I just looked at MARELYN and I said, get fucking Cressy in here now. And she was like, I've already done it.
Yeah, I'm melting down.
She's like, I already see where this is going. It's no reason to be. And here Lamar is in the corner just playing the bass like, oh, everything sounds great to me. And fucking house is on fucking fire.
And then yesterday, of all days, I have to leave unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly. Like it's all going to shit, but at least you know what was funny as hell is
And
Scott.
Biscuit goes, "Oh, I left, didn't I?"
Yeah, you did, bastard. But what was funny was Scott started to tinkering around after he was like, ooh, I like the ahs of that. And then Lamar started to tinker around. Then Lamar just told Cressy, shut up, we're going to play.
Well, Scotty was playing back there, and I was like, well, I want to fucking play too. So it was like, let's jam. Stop all the yapping and let's get this shit done.
It got better real quick after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went downstairs and got my SP 404 so I could do vocals. And then
What
as
was
soon as I plugged it in, StreamYard went bang. I thought, what the fuck? Where's that gone? So, yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And then I get a call from Angie, and she was like, the show has gone to shit. And I'm like, what do you mean, Angie? Lamont's over there pushing buttons. Cressy disappeared. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm like, oh my God.
It was the only time where the show actually was
Right.
like
Yeah.
hanging
You,
on by
you
a
were
thread.
gone
Cables
for
were
like
on
2 hours,
fire.
and when you came back, we were all jamming on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that maybe tells you something, Marlon. It was like the longest session we've had for a long time, and you weren't even there. Right?
Thank
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say,
There was
Scotty?
Getting brave again, isn't it?
Scotty? Getting real
like
brave
the-
over
Yeah,
there,
I'm
huh?
all right now that I've checked on Google how far
3,500
away you are.
miles away.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Scotty's the type of guy that's like, let's shake that hornet's nest. Let's just
Right?
I'm fine. I'm nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay. Does anyone want to hear the track again before? Because we have some people here who haven't heard the parts of the new track that's coming next week. So does anyone still want to hear after this poll?
Which is, I mean,
The track
almost
again.
unanimous that it's going up to 80%. Yes, they want to see the whole process.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
He said,
Now I'm gonna be on a fucking spot.
great.
not just you.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bass
Yeah,
takes
but
I'm gonna do.
people
Yeah,
want
that's true.
to, they want to
Come
see
on.
that, right? It's real, it's
Yeah.
real life,
Yeah.
right?
We gotta
So-
do it regardless, whether it's live or not. I'm
Right.
taking these takes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It-
I'm gonna have Cressy in my ear. Nah, it's not a good take. Do it again. You know what? You know
Chrissy,
what? You know what? All those
you-
things you added, we're just going to completely eliminate them, mate. That's it. It's gone.
Proper
I
shite.
love that you're getting this because that's how you are when I'm trying to do vocals. I'm like, that sounded perfect. Lamar's like, that sounded pretty good. And you're like, nope, that was shit. Do it again. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Diddy.
It's out
It
of key.
was
Diddy comes out.
If it's out
The
of key,
most
it's out of
perfect
key.
one of all of them.
Right when I see the baby oil come out, I go,
I'm done, yeah.
Here comes Diddy.
I look at Lamar and I'm like, Lamar, we're done.
Yeah.
That's it. Just, take
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna play this track one more time, and then I'm going to play what's gonna occur next week, just bits and pieces. We still have to figure things out, and take this poll, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, it's not me, Chrissy. It's not my fault this time. I don't know what he's doing over there.
I thought my hearing had gone.
I just realized something.
What?
For some reason, you can't skip ahead.
No, you can't. When you're tied into the TRIS.
Right.
Correct.
We have to wait the.
You can unclick it, just hit the EXT
Oh, that's true.
that's up there, and then
That's
you can
true.
skip ahead.
And only click it when we're going to record.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's playing at the wrong tempo.
Yeah.
Hang on. I just heard that.
His TRIS is probably not at the right one.
I was cued for the second track.
There
That's
you go.
why.
Hmm. See, Scotty, it's not always me.
Mostly.
Mostly never.
you kind of get this mixed emotion of a theatrical track accompanied with some like jazz hints, you know? It has this double side about the track. It's
What were you asking?
It's kind of like
Nothing. I could barely hear him.
It's kind of like 2 layers.
Because your brother needs to speak up.
This thing is in my goddamn face. What the fuck?
Like you tell guests,
Yeah.
make it one with
It's
you
in my face.
and
I can't
talk
help it. Turn
with
the
your
goddamn
big
mic up.
boy
Turn the goddamn
voice.
mic up.
Big boy voice.
Your big boy voice.
Why is Cressy
Big boy
always
did it.
changing it? But go ahead. What were
I
you
don't know.
saying
It's
now?
hilarious.
I was just saying that the song sounds like it's kind of got this jazz and theatrical element to it. It sounds like it's meeting the purpose of 2 needs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm getting from it. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
It's so funny because towards the end of it, now that everybody's like talking about like organic vocal sounds, you can almost hear a hoo-ah, like at
That's
the
what-
end
yeah.
already in there.
Yeah.
Like,
It might as well just match it.
yeah. What in the God-given earth did you just do?
Is that track 3? Awesome.
Jesus.
That was the
That,
track.
that'll wake him up, won't it?
Yeah.
Just in case you were sleeping, you're not anymore.
Yeah, there goes your alarm.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Hang
My
on a sec till I
alarm.
pick my ass up off the floor.
Yeah. My heart. What are you talking about?
If you can.
Jesus.
Hey.
Yeah, Etarian heard the same thing too. Tone Smith said all the instruments are singy. Yeah, they're
Yep.
very singy.
Yep.
Which I get now where like Wagyu is coming from.
Right.
Especially when it kind of dies down a little bit. It's kind of like a beat break in there.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is part of track 2 for next week.
This is for Vicky. This is different track.
No, this is the one from yesterday, Starseed.
Yeah, he got confused earlier. Didn't
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay. If you want, you can cue the dialogue. Was Scotty around when we did the first portions, or did he show up late?
I showed up late. I didn't hear the whole dialogue. I seen some of it at the end.
Yes, Vicky, this is the guy with the guy talking.
So that's going to be quite interesting too on how we record this in Ableton, or
Well, I can
the
just
dialogue. Is it
I
going
can-
into Ableton, or is
yeah,
it going?
I can drop the WAV file in there so that it'll hit at exactly the time that you need it. So
Okay.
you don't have to rely on me or somebody else.
And then we could do the
hitting the
automation
play.
with the
Correct.
effects.
Yeah.
Okay, that at least shows that. And
Yeah.
then Scott, you could show us exactly how you're going to set the template up, so we're learning as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
You want me to play that first one?
Yeah, let's play the first one.
Okay.
We'll play it in sections.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
There's a Beatles song that feels like it almost doesn't belong in their catalog. And it's off of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And it's sung by a figure within their band that isn't their primary singer, Ringo Starr. And it's I get by with a little help from my friends. And I was listening to it this morning. I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm going to try with a little help from my friends. Get high with a little help from my friends. I had a meeting with newfound friends recently. And I've had help from newfound friends through this platform of what I'm doing right now. We had a video that took off about a month and a half ago. And then I went through an existential crisis of sorts where I was facing all sorts of different things. Finding my voice, facing rejection, all sorts of things were coming to the surface. And I had a difficulty releasing much of anything for close to a month. And in our travels, we visited with these newfound friends, especially towards the end of our trip we had taken. We went to their home. They made food for us, and I did a podcast with them. And the podcast is called Symptoms of Reality, and I'm going to share it within the description below. But I recorded with them, was brought into their home, and there was a moment that I sat with them where I felt the weakness inside me, the fear inside me, the pain inside me, and I expressed it to them. And the power that I want to communicate right now is that if we are seen by our friends and our family and people around us, and they have the strength in that moment, call us out, not in harm, doing so compassionately, it can crack the shell because we're finally seen and we can break through.
Okay.
So that was dialogue 1.
Yeah. Was the bass beefy?
Like it just seemed to be way overpowering.
Yeah. Can't hear.
Yeah. It was normally I can't feel the bass.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Up there.
yeah.
I couldn't hear it.
If you guys are talking, your mics are muted. I can't hear you. So that was dialogue 1. Do you want the second one?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Where's the dialogue from? What is that?
So it's a YouTuber that we met by his YouTube channel is
Why you are you, the letters.
yeah, I was trying to pull it up so I can post it in
Oh
the
yeah, definitely
and the
link
link.
the channel.
and he does a lot of poetry, a lot
And
of positive
talking heads, and
yeah.
affirmations, and
hmm And they came out and visited us on the whim. We had one conversation with them, and they were doing a road trip, and his wife and their daughter,
son.
they came and I spent one night with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here. And we've been connected ever since.
They
They spent another night.
and
And then they
another
came
night.
back again a second time.
How cool.
Yeah. It was really cool, and
Oh, so he's going to be okay with you using this in this
Yeah.
track then, eh?
Yeah.
Which is, happy days.
It's to the point now, Ben and Anna are literally family.
And
Yeah.
now they've created another video like this for the last song on the album
Yes.
called Balance or Fall, and he just created another talking head specifically for this song.
right. So for this one in particular, he is going to send a because this I recorded. I did a screen grab off of just off of my Mac. So he's going to send a better recorded version of this. So he's just going to send me the vocal stems.
Perfect.
And then, and then I can just dump them and snip them where I need them to be.
Yeah. And then in that beginning part, Scott, we're probably not going to use a lead there because I think Cresty was really adamant about letting
Just let the vocal come through.
letting him get a message out. And then,
And then we could go into wherever we need to go
Yeah,
after that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna play the second half. So, right
So
out of that quiet portion.
I've linked his channel in the chat too,
Okay.
by the way.
Which again, Scott, that the just so you know, just so you're aware of what's going on with the 8OS. Again, the bottom man is doubled up, but that's only representation for our live show, so you can help us figure out to get that on one track.
Okay.
Let me know when you want the second vocals.
Get me 20 seconds when he's done.
So you want the verbal cue is going to be, I had it written down.
Oh, no, that's right. How did we do this? We went from
So the verbal cue.
we went from the beginning with the first one, the first dialogue. Then we were supposed to go into this kind of
Oh, you have the sheet. You took the sheet.
8-bar thing, right?
Oh, here it is. So the first, I think the first verbal cue was we can break through. And then the second one, you're going to hear laser. And then that's when you start cueing in the other stuff, start bringing everything back up. And then by the time you hear mirror, that's when everything should be in.
Okay, let's do this. It's gonna be sloppy as hell, but let's just let's
Well,
do this.
Real quick, thanks Apollo for subbing to YURU channel. Ben just texted us too. He's watching, but he sent you a link.
Oh, he did?
Oh,
in
okay.
the
Yeah,
text.
thanks, Ben.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, let's do this, Meryl. Let's. Are you gonna be able to keep up with me if we just play this thing and all the way through? It's gonna be sloppy.
Yeah. I can cue up
so
the...
let's start from the very beginning.
Okay, I can cue the
and
first
let's
one
go
up right
all
now.
the way through this.
All right.
And I'm gonna try to figure that out. So you're gonna go dialogue 1, 2, and 3.
Thanks, your baby. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Shababy.
You guys get out there and support YURU. He's doing great stuff. If you want to get mental clarity, really helps.
Let me know when you want to play it.
There you go. I just gotta run through this real quick. So
Twin Cities, it's linked into the chat. I linked his channel in the chat.
I got a rough idea how it's going to go.
Okay, let me know when you want the first one.
There's a Beatles song that feels like it almost doesn't belong in their catalog. And it's off of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And it's sung by a figure within their band that isn't their primary singer, Ringo Starr. And it's I Get By With a Little Help from My Friends. And I was listening to it this morning. I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm going to try with a little help from my friends. Get high with a little help from my friends. I had a meeting with newfound friends recently, and I've had help from newfound friends through this platform of what I'm doing right now. We had a video that took off about a month and a half ago, and then I went through an existential crisis of sorts where I was facing all sorts of different things. Finding my voice, facing rejection, all sorts of things were coming to the surface. And I had a difficulty releasing much of anything for close to a month. And in our travels, we visited with these newfound friends, especially towards the end of our trip we had taken. We went to their home. They made food for us, and I did a podcast with them. And the podcast is called Symptoms of Reality, and I'm going to share it within the description below. But I recorded with them. I was brought into their home, and there was a moment that I sat with them where I felt the weakness inside me, the fear inside me, the pain inside me, and I expressed it to them. And the power that I want to communicate right now is that if we are seen by our friends and our family and people around us, and they have the strength in that moment, call us out, not in harm, doing so compassionately, it can crack the shell because we're finally seen and we can break through. Moment where I told them that I recorded 5 videos when we were on our trip. I released one of those 5 videos. 2 technically, but I deleted one of them. Released 1 out of 5, ultimately. And what they said to me was, "How dare you? How dare you?" And I was taken aback. What if that video that you didn't release was the video that we needed, or I needed, to see? I've been listening to your videos, I've been watching your videos, I've been taking them in. How dare you deprive me of that, and deprive the world of that, and deprive yourself of that? And I felt even smaller for a moment. And they said, "It's important that you release whatever you're creating." And I sat with that for about 30 minutes or so. A part of me wanted to leave the gathering immediately, never come back, just run away and hide. But I couldn't. I committed to going there, I committed to connecting with them, and I committed to facing myself. That's something I want to do with my life. I want to face everything that's coming up with my life. It's the only way through. There's a quote from Robert Frost from one of his poems. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. By facing yourself, that is the only way out. You can't circumvent it, you can't skirt it, you can't move around it. And even though you think you might be, you are creating your whole life based upon that. You are a mixed signal until you come online. And when you face yourself, again and again and again, that signal becomes stronger and stronger and stronger to where you are a direct signal. You are a laser communicating your voice and your vision to the world only by facing yourself, becoming the hollow bone, becoming so clear within yourself that you need people. In a sense, you need them to be your mirror. Something important back to you, to say something to you, to communicate something to you. And what they communicated to me is what I'm communicating to you right now. Whatever it is that you've come to create, because you are a creator and I am a creator. We are creative. It may be that you don't sing. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you're a dancer. Maybe you're a gardener. Maybe you're a painter. It does not matter. Whatever you've come to create, you got to bring everything into it. Because you're creating yourself. And when we don't, we're depriving the world, and we're depriving ourselves of our creations. And the world, to be a little bit dramatic, suffers from this lack of creativity, this lack of voice, this lack of openness. When someone is creative in your presence, when they're open within your presence, they open. You open. It creates an open exchange with the world. And you take that inspiration and you create. You create. And you are painted anew every day. It's about 30 or 45 minutes in, we have a meal. I sit back with them. And I reflect and I said, when you guys said that, it really struck me. It really struck me. And you're right. And I released one of the videos for about a day. I took it down. I felt like I got the message to take it down. And I sat with that part of myself that has been rejecting my whole life. I sat with that part of myself that's afraid. I've been sitting with that part of myself, communicating, connecting, not giving up on creating and not giving up on the dream. I said, but I, in a sense, needed you guys to say that to me. And then we recorded a podcast afterwards.
well, damn, that was nice.
Okay, that was sloppy. That's not, it's, we haven't produced this thing yet.
It is what it
Cressy
is.
ain't got his fingers on it, but
It was nice for
Scotty
what it
hasn't
is.
put some manipulations in there.
Cressy's too busy making different icons.
Oh.
Did you see this one? I blew
now
it
he's
up.
got
But
an L. Is that a 45 or is that an LP? I don't know what.
It looks like AI
Like an LP.
didn't understand.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the sneak peek. It is far from what it's going to sound like. There's a whole lot of things that are missing that I really want to sound design around and add a little bit more thickness in areas. But it's a rough draft, and it's very close to how we want it.
It sounds good for a rough draft.
Right, but it's just not quite there yet. So a lot of it is going to take some conversating. Of course, Cressy's going to produce this thing to be a masterpiece. and
Cressy's
then
too busy getting a cup
he's
of
gonna
tea.
shit
That's
on
why
S-
he's really quiet.
He's going to shit on Scotty, then he's going to shit on me, then he's going to shit on Lamar.
And then I'm going to have to go in there and,
Slap 'em up.
set him straight.
So what do you think, Scott? You saw the entire project. Now you know where we're all in for.
I like it
Yeah.
a lot.
Ooh.
He said, a lot.
You see, when Scotty likes something, that means you're on the good fucking path.
Not just like,
right?
but he likes it a
A
lot.
lot.
Now, I'm gonna do something crazy, okay? I'm gonna agree.
You?
I'm gonna agree with Scotty, only because I do really like it, but Cressy's gonna come and fuck that up for everybody.
And it's going to make you love it.
It's a blessing that Cressy is off getting his cup of tea.
Right, because he can't hear what's going on.
He'd be right in here.
What's chat? think?
He'll be listening. He'll be
Oh,
listening.
yeah. He's
I know he
listening.
was listening.
Yeah, yeah.
Chat, what do you think about this
What do
next
you
track?
guys think?
What do you think?
It's far from where we want to be, but it's there.
It's there.
We
The
have the
goods are there.
structure. Scott, there's like when we get into this next week, and we're probably not going to hear it again until next week. But,
Monday.
There's some sounds that I really want to thicken up around it, so there's no dead space. You know what I mean? Like there's something either droney or something patty that just thickens up some stuff.
Yeah.
He said,
Well,
Thicken it
what
up.
to do is once you guys, we'll get this template made, and I'll get that through to
Yes.
you hopefully over the weekend. Certainly before Monday, anyway.
Yeah.
I would like
Well,
to sit.
But there's no rush, Scott.
Yeah,
Like,
it's no rush.
there's no stress behind this. I don't care when this album is done, to be honest with
Yeah, but I would also like to sit with Scotty while you're doing that template so I can do it on my end as well. So I can kind of like mirror what you're doing so we can learn.
Jeez, that's like $50 an hour, that, Marlon.
I'll send you a Marmite.
Marlon.
Modeling.
You got to say it with a D, Madeline.
you. Modern. Don't worry, Scott.
Yeah, that's
Don't-
no problem.
yeah.
We can easily do that.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
Scott,
think
Scott, don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah,
'cause, you and Cressy are gonna get something special from our bourbon collection when this is all said and done.
Empty bottles, probably.
No.
Oh,
You're
Very
gonna
nice.
get some bottles that
They're
you'll
not empty.
never find in your life. And
Cressy's gonna get a brand
people
new,
here in the U.S. can't even find them because
Right.
we were such adamant bourbon hunters. So.
Cressy's gonna get a brand new twat.
Yeah, he is.
oh, what?
that didn't
All,
sound
all
right.
I want is
Not at all. At all did that sound right.
Jim Beam Maple, mate, is the only thing I'm interested in. Anything
Jim
else can
Beam.
get fucked.
Really,
Oh,
Jim
Jim
Beam?
Beam Maple?
Okay, there's
Well, I don't know,
equivalent.
Chris. I
there-
might have something for you.
Yeah.
That might
If-
knock
minute,
that out
hold
of the
on.
water.
Now that you know his palate,
Yeah, it's
you
bullshit.
know what to
I
send
know what he
him.
likes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that you
shit.
know that I can't buy it in England ever again.
Yeah, he
is
likes
the-
cheap shit.
impossible.
We'll send.
It's not shit.
It's not. It
That's
really
only
isn't.
because you haven't had
But you
the
haven't
better
had a,
side.
Yeah, you don't know what your palate is, but we now know.
But in Cressy's defense, even the most fucking expensive bourbons out there,
Could be
some of
shit.
them taste like shit.
They do. Like Pappy's.
So yeah,
Pappy's taste like shit.
just like Weller.
Expensive drink is always the same. I remember for me and the wife's 10-year anniversary, I went out and bought a bottle of Dom Perignon.
oh, it tastes like shit.
Oh my God. It was like, I
Yeah.
think I was like 70 quid for this thing. And
Oh,
yeah.
it was
shit.
And you're like,
absolutely
really?
atrocious.
Yeah. Liquid Marmite.
Yeah, all it is a status thing. And I just thought
Exactly.
it's one of those things that I always thought I want to try it, see what like it is, but no, it was disgusting.
So if you notice, whenever they bring like the dom out, is when they're already plastered. Right?
Yeah.
They're drunk, so they
don't
bring
know
out
what they're tasting.
Now they bring out
Yeah,
the dom. Oh
exactly.
my god, it tastes amazing. Well, piss water would taste amazing to you right now.
But Cressy, I mean, the Jim Beam Maple, my brother was seriously. We would tell you the cheaper bourbons are some of the best bourbons you can buy.
Yeah.
But just knowing that palate, my brother and I will go into our collection and go, okay, we know that palate. What can we send him that's a little bit more pricier, a little bit more spunkier? And
Cressy's gonna be like, what the
fuck is
this?
this? This is nice. You know? So we are bourbon aficionados.
So I'll tell you what you can do. If you want to go a bit more pricier, yeah, there's an obvious answer to this.
It's got to be our collection, Cressy.
Fly us over to the States and we'll have a jam.
No, 2 bottles of Jim Beam Maple, not one. Easy.
Two.
If you think it's cheap, just buy 2. It's not cheap
Done.
anymore, is it?
There you go.
Yeah. We got you. We'll hook you up. Don't worry. You guys got a huge gift coming. But yeah, what were you going to say, Scotty?
Yeah, the only thing that may delay Monday is I've just had an email come through just now from a film score dude that I do periodic work for him, and he's now got a list of things the length of his arm that he's needing done for the Moog One. But
The length of his arm.
it's work. So, hey, I'll keep you posted. But that shouldn't hinder anything over the weekend. I would
It's
think. I'll get it
literally
done.
no stress.
Yeah,
Literally,
don't
we
even
do.
worry about it.
No
Yes,
We
stress.
get the back seat.
we don't care when this is finished.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like to have it done this year, but
Eventually.
we're not stressing anyone out. This is for most people, this is out of the kindness of their fucking heart.
Yeah,
So,
and don't forget December 31st is this year.
yeah,
So
there you go. You're right about that shit.
Well, that'll all
Right?
depend on whether MARELYN sends the right project files or not.
Ah,
fuck.
whatever.
Could you just leave the
you
goddamn
really
worms
just
closed?
man, he's
Could you
just
close the can of worms?
he's lucky he's 35
Yeah.
fucking
You
hundred
know,
miles away.
you know what's going to be funny is James Dyson wants to feature on one of the songs, right?
Which
you
he-
know we have to talk to
Oh
James.
my god.
He has to.
Nah, he's gonna do fucking sign language. And then he's gonna probably send us
Yeah,
something
maybe
in
just hold
Braille.
bits of paper up.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
little
he's,
signs.
he's ordered a mic
He
or
ordered
an
a mic.
Give him
adapter or
ideas.
whatever.
Yeah, he ordered a mic, and
Yeah.
what else did he do? He ordered something else. I don't know.
I think it was a mic.
A voice
to-
changer, a Roland D4.
There you go.
Oh,
okay.
probably.
Yeah.
shit.
Goddamn, Cressy.
That's
What,
what we have.
what do you do? This dude.
Damn,
Hang
Chris,
on.
come on, how fast are you? So yeah, it's going to be
He
exciting.
probably has them all lined up.
Oh, there's one in the background as well, look.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there is.
Well, it's your second album as well.
And it's actually spelt reality right this time as well.
Yeah. You know,
The
sometimes
last
they
couple
can.
were realty.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's fucking.
It is
yeah.
AI.
It is AI. It gives it.
Yeah.
Some of it is.
It's a
right,
lot
yeah.
better than it used to be because it could never do words before. It was
Never.
shocking,
I
eh?
did just
Never.
glance at it too.
Yeah, I would always have to dump them in DaVinci and put the text over them.
Yeah.
Um,
But it is going to be nice to have James Dyson finally talking with us and in on one of the songs. And so just to be able to hear his voice, which I've heard already, Marilyn and I have
yeah,
heard.
yeah.
He does
He
actually
does speak.
have a
He
voice.
actually does speak.
And he's a very
He
shy.
just doesn't like the sound of his own voice when he hears it back recorded.
Right?
That's all it is.
He's
Oh,
he's
well,
a
then he
very
doesn't need
shy
to listen.
individual.
He doesn't have to listen back.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so when we interviewed Simon, they were like, oh my God, you're going to have a hard time understanding him. Understood him perfectly. Understand pretty much all of our UK folks.
Yeah.
James, totally understand him.
Yeah.
There's only one individual.
Fucking Bicky.
He speaks
No.
slow.
No.
No,
Bicky,
fucking Scotty.
Bicky, I can understand.
Scott's good.
One.
No, not Bicky's accent. Bicky's thought process.
Oh no, yeah, I enjoy his thought process, but there's
Hamburger
one
creating
person
Panda.
who, when he speaks, it must be utter silent, or I won't
mumbles.
understand. No,
it's
not even
Panda.
mumbles.
It's Panda.
Panda.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Can't you
everybody.
understand Panda?
No.
Panda goes fast.
Nope.
Sometimes he'll
Yeah.
go so fast, you're like, what did he just say?
Yeah. I need okay, everybody shut up. Panda's talking.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. If you notice, like whenever he's on, I'm like, Panda, what did you say? Can you say that again?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time understanding him.
I got 5 minutes. I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out of here
I
too.
think this is a
Yeah,
wrap.
cool.
Okay. Popcorn night is tomorrow.
Yes.
Get your submissions in. Eternian, you still in here?
Yeah.
Submit something, my boy.
Yep. We got
I,
a good.
I sent you another one today, Marlon. Did
yep,
you get that?
I got
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Scotty just cranking
Scotty's
them
on a
out.
roll.
I think you've still got one left from the last
Yes.
3, but you
Yes, I do.
yeah, just choose whatever one you want.
Yeah.
Apollo, Uncle Jerry, submit it.
Uncle Jerry submitted one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Well,
put one in, Apollo, with your punk ass.
Yeah, put one in with your punk ass.
Saturday is chatting with the Dixons, so we'll open up the link. We'll, play, chat, whatever. Sunday we have an interview with Andrew Long.
Ooh,
Andrew Longhorse.
We're going to go wreck his pad. Remember, he's offering his pad to
Yes.
We're
Saurians.
going to go stay with him.
Yeah.
To the Saurians.
If you need something to do after our live,
When is Wagyu signing up for an interview?
yeah, I don't know. Head over to Mumbles himself. He's currently live. So I've pinned that in the chat.
And he's going to bring in Friday for most of you UK folks.
Yep.
He's just going to bring in a late night for us US folks.
Yep. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Cressy. You guys are awesome.
Yep.
And we truly appreciate
Couldn't
what
do
you guys
without
are
you.
doing for
Didn't
us.
do this without you.
Hey, Cornish, my love.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. And all AMCs want to touch your breast.
What?
Yep.
No.
No.
No?
Yes.
No. Stop.
Mute button, people.
Where
Come on.
the fuck did that come from?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
Fuck,
he says it.
Scott.
He says it all the time.
Coming to America.
Scotty, he says it all the time. All the
Remember
time.
that shit, Coming to America? They
Coming
were
to America.
looking for the proper queen for him to date.
Oh, Etarian's working on his kumatai right now.
Oh, that's right. He's
well,
in Kumatai.
afterwards,
Afterwards.
send it for
Etarian.
popcorn.
Yeah, send that shit.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, y'all.
We're gonna go
cheers.
actually have a
Take care, everyone.
decent dinner time.
Yeah. Peace. Peace.
Bye, all. Bye.
Bye.